time. Welcome back to the Wednesday Night War on TEW 2016, where we're taking NXT and going head-to-head with AEW. And we're going to do some funky business tonight. I'm pretty sure that since AEW had crushed us last week, we're going to start doing some dirty tactics. One of the first things we're going to do, we got that $10 million in the bank. I am going to go ahead and start to push their production values. So I am going to upgrade everything to literally the most that we can. Cutting edge. Okay, well that's about as much as we can do. So they're going to start getting penalties. It's going to start costing us more money, but we're going to start dumping money into NXT to win this damn thing, because I am sick of them and their stupid faces. And I think we will. So let's see if we can do something here that would let's plan a story. Yeah, perfect. So I think if we give them a little bit of some dirty tricks going on there, we might really get to screw them over quite a bit. Because we want to cut their momentum down. They're working too hard over there. The other thing I was thinking of is there something we could do to them in terms of who they have as wrestlers? So they have some people that are available that we could take right now. Nobody really. I mean, Pentagon would be probably a big loss, but not really. Nobody in particular that would be a major steal from them, right? So in terms of kind of rating them, there's really not much going on there. But what we might want to do is we might want to try to capture people that are elsewhere that might go to them, like a Zack Sabre, or like a Lance Archer. Might not be bad grabs, just to avoid them from picking them up. So what are they? They're pay per appearance. Both of them are pay per appearance, so I could just pick them up now. It's interesting. New Japan should really lock talent down, huh? We could grab Tama Tonga Loa. It's not a bad idea. Though again, that's not really hurting AEW. I'm getting too focused now on stealing talent, and it really isn't the point. Because we have to deal with what we have here. We have a lot of people. We have a lot of people we can get. Just stealing people isn't going to really do anything to us. So let's stop thinking about that, Durger. Okay, what we got to deal with is putting on the best show. So we got to end some of these storylines and move them on. Obviously, we have some of these that are working pretty well, kind of building up that Xavier Woods heel turn. We got the club just showing up right now, even though they beat Gallows and Anderson. That was kind of a weird booking decision on my part. The Dalton Castle Velveteen Dream stories is fairly good. Fairly good, it says. It's not bad. Candice and Fiend is not going well. I think we should probably back that out. Give Bray Wyatt something to do, because that's not working well. Top Guys working pretty well, and then we should end this. So we're going to have to come up with some new storylines and try to figure out what we're going to do here. So let's go ahead and let's go over to the next show and see what we're working with. So we are back. Let's see what we have working on here in terms of the story and the news here. Peter Avalon's unhappy. That doesn't really matter. Nothing really going on. That's fine. Who? Yeah, whatever. That's fine. I'm not gonna worry about that. Check the news real quick, see if anything has happened with AEW, see if our dirty tactics have any effect on them. Not really. Looks like about the same. That's fine. And one of the things we have to do before we start the show is I realized the last episode I did not spin the wheel. Even though we kind of did okay. I don't, if I remember correctly here, we had a 75, and what did they end up having for their show? That was, where do I find it here? Bring this back. We had 75, they had 62. So, we didn't add a McMahon, but as you know, the rules is that we're supposed to spin the wheel, and I forgot, and I decided, whether I should just spin the wheel or whether I should punish myself from this transgression. I think I'm going to punish myself. So, make things a little interesting. We're going to pop the wheel up, and we're just going to go ahead and straight spin the McMahon wheel, and give myself a punishment for screwing it up and forgetting. Hopefully, this time I won't forget again. So, this is sort of a negative reinforcement. All right, what's with all these vanilla midgets? Biggest wrestler needs to go over next show. Someone submitted that, but I don't know who it was. All right, so we got to pick the biggest guy. The biggest dude we got in terms of size. And that will be the person we are going to push. Unfortunately, is there a filter for size? Yes. So let's go with the heavyweight. Who do we got? Well, it's Bray. Bray is a flabby heavyweight. We got a ripped heavyweight, bulky heavyweight, bulky heavyweight, bulky big heavyweight. Well, it looks like Luke Gallows is the one who's going over big. We got to figure out what we're going to do here. Fuck it. Let's give him the NXT title. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? All right, so we got a plan, and it looks like, according to Vince McMahon, we need the biggest, bulkiest guy we got to get the title. I kind of like the idea of Killian Dane getting it, though, but the rule is the big got to put over the biggest guy. So I guess the biggest guy is Luke Gallows. Let's go ahead and get to NXT Live and see what happens. All right, somehow still 100% backstage rating. I don't know how. Ciampa, Fandango, and Dakota Kai still out. We still have Finn Balor in for one episode. We're going to use him, and I want to see if we can bring him back on the Talent Exchange, because that's going to be an interesting... That's going to be an interesting mechanic. I'm just a little nervous that it'll say that we can't. Like you've already used him, you can't do it again. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and I guess... What do we want to do? Is there anybody that has negative? Nobody has negative right now. Matt Riddle failed a drug test. That's about it. Nothing really going on there. I'll just clear the air. Let people vent some frustrations out. I'll hear everybody. That's fine. Here we go. We can afford it. And it'll give us a little bit of a boost. Even though it gives us a negative factor here, it gives everybody else a slight positive. We are going to be in the NXT auditorium. We should be. Don't tell me there's no appropriate place. I have a place for us. Like, we literally made it for this reason. There we go. Thank you. All right, so we got to put over Luke Gallows in this episode. which I think actually works for our storyline. I mean, it's kind of a bummer because we just gave the title to Montez Ford, which was kind of cool and weird. But now we we have to give it to Luke Gallows. So it kind of works because we just gave AJ the North American title. And since Dash and Dawson retained, we can kind of have this situation where I guess Luke Gallows ends up having the championship and AJ has the lesser championship. It's kind of weird, but it could be kind of fun. All right, let's go ahead and let's book this nonsense, see what we can come up with. Oh, all right. This is a weird show. We got 119 minutes, 14 segments. Let's just run it and see what the hell this comes out to be. Christ. All right, so we start the show with Triple H because it's the cheapest pop we can get, and we need it. He comes out and says that there will be a Scramble Championship right now for the women's #1 contender. And then we have Bianca Belair, Dark Candice LeRae, Deonna Purrazzo, I can't talk, Purrazzo, Shayna Baszler, and Io Shirai. Shayna's protected in this match a little bit, so she isn't upset about losing, but it has subpar wrestling and little heat, and Dark Candice defeats Bianca Belair, Deonna Purrazzo, whatever, Shayna Baszler, and Io Shirai in the Scramble. 12 minutes after scoring the most falls. They're all about evenly matched. It is what it is, but we move on. We kind of end the storyline of who will defeat Shayna with Candice LeRae kind of cementing herself now in her dark form as the #1 contender, which leads us to Sasha Banks coming out to confront her as the champion. But as it happens, Dark Candice actually summons the Fiend behind her, and through his demonic support, Sasha gets scared back and pushes herself away, thus clearly meaning that Dark Candice is now, unlike any other competitor that Sasha Banks has had before, not one that she can easily bully. Beth Phoenix couldn't handle the commentary and got the crowd hotter, and Bray Wyatt came across well. We start more down the road of the evil Xavier Woods storyline. This match isn't great. It's only a 1 minute by a submission, just supposed to be a squash. Rob Strauss is at ringside with Riddick, and it's okay. Xavier has a 64, Riddick has a 22. I feel like there's a way to do squashes properly. I'm not sure how to do it, but it's an absolute burial. Riddick's pissed, but I wanted to try to give as much momentum to Xavier as possible, and I'm willing to sacrifice Riddick Boss to the wrestling gods for that to happen. Afterwards, Woods won't let go of the submission, eventually pulls away, grabs a mic, and then he just starts going on to a long rant. He criticizes the NXT universe, the fans, complains about his old character, how he had to dance around and act like a caricature, that no one ever respected him, no one ever gave him the time. He was always the third wheel in a tag team, overshadowed, and that his time here, that won't be the case. He's like, there's no laughing matter, there's no jokes, this is not time for pancakes and stupidity. Xavier Woods is here to win, and he will do anything it takes to get there. And he basically sacrifices Riddick in the process to do it. Performance for Xavier was good, got the crowd hotter, did pretty well. It's actually D+ isn't bad considering what this is. Another extremely short match. Adam Cole defeats Killian Dane in 3 minutes after Killian Dane was disqualified after Roderick Strong actually ran in and attacked Adam Cole and ended the match. It was a big old cluster here. Adam had a 53, Killian Dane had a 38. Not bad. I don't think any improvements, but basically we saw Adam Cole get stripped of his title, and the question was how the Undisputed Era was handling the situation after they kind of seemed to betray him almost. Well, now we know how. It seems they're openly antagonistic. And afterwards, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly all come out and kind of say that, get a mic, and they basically say that the Undisputed Era was all about the supremacy of NXT, but with Adam Cole being a consistent failure now and losing their dominance, they needed to reach out and find a new leader, and they found a new honorable one. And Marty Scurll debuts and shows up as the new leader of the Undisputed Era. Gets pretty good. I mean, overall, it's a D-. They're weak in terms of overness, but yeah, what are you going to do? His degenerate gimmick is very good, which is good. And when you start we change up the new Undisputed Era storyline. Actually loses heat here though. I wish I had a dirt sheet to find out who was really the weak link here. It's a real bummer I can't find out. Because I think I had Marty at overness, and it's probably Bobby Fish or Kyle O'Reilly at overness. But Roderick Strong was also on microphone, and I'm not really sure how well that actually does for him. But oh well. This match is better. It's still a poor match considering, but we have the Revival versus Forgotten Sons, and it's a 14-minute match. Revival ended up defeating the Forgotten Sons. And, yeah, it's okay. Dawson and Wilder are not suited for their gimmick. We've got to find out why. Blake just got a little bit of an injury there. Inflamed tendon. And, yeah, we got to take a look at that. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, I don't really have major plans for him, but, that's a little rough. I have to check what the hell their gimmick issue is. But, I'm sure we can figure that out. Overall, though, we continue to dominance the Revival in NXT. Kind of was hoping for this to be a bit of a better rating, but I guess Blake and Cutler are just not cut out for the spotlight here because their performance is pretty underwhelming. Yeah, that sucks. We have to take a look at that. All right, to boost up the rating a little bit, we have AJ Styles coming out with his new North American Championship. Says he's the best in the world. The club's here, and he's so confident that he can beat anybody. He offers an open challenge anytime he's in this ring. Come in, and he'll give you a shot because he knows he's going to win. Kushida comes out and challenges him. But ultimately, AJ Styles does defeat him in 12 minutes after a very flippy high spots match. Gives him a springboard 450 and makes the first defense of the North American title. They had great chemistry, which is awesome. AJ looked excellent out there, had a 91 and a 55. What more could you ask for? And, I mean, he's look at his performance. Like, he's going to pull anybody to a B. Anybody at all. We should put him in the main event with somebody, and it'll probably be an A+, easy. It's almost like cheating. Similar situation here. Finn Balor has a kind of possibly a finale match with Ricochet in 12 minutes. Ends up winning. They have an 83 and a 70. They're both actually pretty evenly matched here. Afterwards, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson come out and beat up Ricochet after Finn celebrates. Finn looks conflicted. And seemingly unsure whether he should go over and defend Ricochet, and ultimately bows out and leaves his former tag team partners in New Japan to run roughshod over Ricochet. And the Club Invades NXT storyline advances, gains heat, pretty good, C+, they look great out there. And finally, for our main event, we have Luke Gallows getting a very, very short win by defeating Montez Ford and becoming the NXT championship because Vince wants big guys. Luke Gallows gets a 54. Montez Ford has a 26. It's not great. It's not bad. But Montez, for all those people out there that were really excited about that Montez Ford run, we got some bad news because it looks like Luke Gallows is now NXT champion. And finally, AJ, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson come out and celebrate. Finn comes out to confront them. but instead of attacking, reunites to sweets them and joins them as they celebrate. Seemingly the entire Bullet Club, original OG club itself, possibly back together. And we end the show there. It gains heat, pretty good momentum. 671 C+ is not bad. Brings us to a 60 though, which is not great. That's a little concerning. Some of those lower card shows really hurt us. We probably have to be a bit more careful about where we put like AJ in the meantime. But we're really using that talent to prop up NXT. I mean, it's kind of the problem with NXT right now for real, right? That there's a lot of heat when Raw and SmackDown invaded, but now that they're gone, people are like, oh, it's kind of underwhelming now. The luster's not there. The star power simply isn't there. And that's something we had to deal with. But hopefully we can supplement this star power for a while until we build up other people, right? Maybe we get Kushida to be a top star, something like that, and then we can build it back up, and then we can get that heat and momentum so that we don't have to worry about trading wins and losses with AEW every week, and hopefully we can just defeat them. All right, well, after that nonsense, let's take a look at what we got here. Finn has left due to the loan period ending, so this is what we kind of want to look at first, is I want to see if I can just bring him back in. Blake is injured. We'll have to take a look at that. The rating was 1.71. It's actually not bad. Shawn Michaels doesn't like Steve Cutler. Okay, so first things first, talent trade. Can I pull Finn back in? Because if we can have him for another 5 shows, that would not be bad. Oh, I should probably not look at Evolve. That's not going to help me. I don't mind spending the money. I think it was like $40,000. Okay, so that is the problem. So at this point now, we cannot trade too much more. So as the field recent number trade, 2 companies got too much and needs to slow down for a few months. So that's going to be our problem, is that Finn is gone. We're not going to be able to get him back. Like, we might be able to do an alliance alone. It's only for 1 show, though. So that is an issue. Talent trades are pretty much limited. At this point now, whatever we do with the club, that's over once we use them. And, we do have Bray because he's on our roster. But, like, in order to get Finn, I'd actually have to technically, like, buy him out of the roster at this point. Like, I'd have to find a way to see when his contract is up, and it's going to be a bummer. He's probably under Fergal, right? Yeah. So I wonder what I would like to just have him on here, but it doesn't show where I don't know what his contract is on there, but it might be for years, unfortunately, so we might not be able to get to him. So now we're running a tricky situation here, because without that talent trade, we might be able to do it with UK and pull people over, right? But there's nobody on here that's that popular, right? So we're kind of limited there, and Evolve is just worthless. I'm not worthless, but we're not going to get anybody of significant value. So that at this point, we might be looking at, can we raid major talent to pull into NXT? And I think that's what we'll look at next week. We'll see if maybe we can steal some major New Japan talent, raid everybody, and pull people in, because our roster's not going to be as strong once these talent trades are gone, until we can bring them back again. Real bummer. So what I was worried about, that's why I was kind of playing it a little carefully. But now that we know, we we can at least deal with it and move around with it. Now, we do have to look at it and see what we have. I'm a little concerned because that 60 is pretty weak compared to what they were pulling in. Now, we did a 1.71 in broadcasting, which is not bad. But the 60 is going to hurt us, I think. So, Dynamite, what happened? Yeah, that's what I thought. 1.60, they had a sellout. We did a little bit better in TV ratings, just a little bit. So we don't hurt as much. But we do, in fact, lose that night. They had Cody defeated Chris Jericho. Is Cody the champion now? That's interesting. Maybe that was just a I didn't say it was a title championship, but Daniels defeats Adam Page. Yeah, I'm always shocked that they can seemingly run things with. Yeah, there's no titles involved. I'm always shocked that the AI can just kind of cheat and not have to really deal with angles and stuff like that. Might just be also how AEW is coded in this on this mod, but we almost have a significant disadvantage because we have to constantly put angles in, and that can hurt because we have to kind of blow up the show more. Just look at how lean their show is. This was like 20, 40, 60, 90. You know what I mean? Like, it's each of these guys are doing like 30-minute matches. It's kind of ridiculous. D plus there, D plus there, D minus there. I wish I had a women's division match with D minus. Jeez. B minus there, B minus there, and a B there. So they have an advantage in how they can run it. So we have to just be smarter than the AI, which is difficult for me. But that does mean, though, is that we do lose a little bit of that bar up there. And, of course, we have to go ahead and add another McMahon to the McMahon wheel, which is a real bummer. There's going to be a block here, unfortunately. And we do have to spin it. All right. No meddling. We're safe. We did a punishment medal earlier, which actually it was okay. It wasn't that big of a deal, though we do have to get that belt off of him soon, because as we know, with the talent trades, that's going to be a problem because we're not going to have them for much longer. We're only going to have them for like 3 more episodes, maybe 2. So we're going to have to hot potato that thing. But we got at least a vision, and I think we're going to look at New Japan, we're going to look at Impact, AAA, we're going to go through everything next week, and we're going to see who we can steal and try to build a better roster for NXT and who we can take our star power from. Like, I mean, we got to look at everybody. I mean, could you imagine if we like stole Okada or something like that? You know, we could really do some damage. We'll have to take a look at it. But for now, that was the latest episode of Wednesday Night War. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.